Good morning, almost afternoon, everyone. Hope the Job Expo is going well for you so far. And today I'm going to talk about taking the driving seat of your career, so proactively taking the lead. Generally, we can tend to sit in the passenger seat and being brought along by everyone else, their plans, as opposed to driving our own agendas, driving our own goals, and being very, very clear on what we want. So today I'm going to cover 3 topics. 1, your career story. 2, interview techniques. And the third area is career mindset. So a bit about myself. My business is Fitzpatrick Coaching. And I work with Trish, give a great intro there, thank you. I do career coaching, so I work with a lot of people in leadership development, career transition, and interviewing for roles, and also looking at interview skills, CVs. And ultimately, I help people reach their potential. That's the goal anyway. And this is a brief overview of my career roadmap. So quite a varied career. I worked in different roles. I worked 15 years in international FinTech, where I worked in a variety of roles, and worked in call centers, then on to national marketing, international marketing. Then I took a career break and I established my own business in coaching. So, I work with a lot of clients and I encourage them to draw out similar in terms of their career map, because often this info gets lost. So with this career map, you can focus on the different milestones in your career, who was involved, what were you striving for at the time, what skills were you aiming for, what skills were you using, and ultimately a lot of time it's, what was the reason I left for that role? I was striving for more. I needed to progress in my career. So it's looking at your career journey as your career story as a whole, as opposed to getting the information lost, kind of scattered in a CV. And the first area is career story. So your career story is basically how you show up, how you talk about yourself. The clearer you are on your career story, ultimately, the more successful you're going to be. Because if you're in an interview, from the very get-go, your CV, your cover letter, your LinkedIn should reflect everything you say in that interview. So getting to know your career story. What am I good at? What are my key strengths? What do I want to do next? What am I really, really good at that I like doing? So in an interview then, you are asked, tell me about yourself. And then at the very end, why should we give you the job? That is the part of the interview that you own. So people struggle to say what they're good at. What are your key strengths? To know that and be able to confidently speaking about it. So when you're in an interview, you're talking about yourself. This is who I am. My key strengths include, I have a proven track record in delivering XXX. I have 15 years experience working in numerous roles. So you're speaking with clarity, not getting lost and down rabbit holes at the very start of the interview, because you're being scored there. You want to give that pitch quite well. The clearer you are in your career story, the clearer your CV is, the clearer your LinkedIn is. It's just consistent, which ultimately, if I'm interviewing someone, I want to see consistency. I don't want to get a cover letter and meet someone else or a CV that doesn't reflect. You can put your CV into ChatGPT. It's not going to be you. So I want to see the same person that has applied for the job. So that's quite important. It's getting to know you, your key strengths, and ultimately, why I'm here today is because I want to help you get confidence when you're in an interview, to have the confidence to speak well about yourself, to know your career story. So you're going into an interview being authentic because you're prepared and you know yourself fairly good to be able to show up. Obviously, there's preparation to be done in the interview about the company, about their values, about their vision, but ultimately you know yourself well enough that you don't have to prep. So you lead with your key strengths. Never, we all do it, never lead with something you're not good at, that you do, or you might be good at it, but you don't like doing it because your body language will give it away fairly fast. So don't talk about things, or if there's something you're good at that you never want to do, never put it on your CV, or you'll keep ending up in the same roles. You'll be asked. So if you're asked about something that's on your CV that you hate doing, your body language is literally going to flop. So keep the level up. So only talk about, once it's relevant to the role. If you're chasing what you want, that's the type of role you should be going with anyway. And ultimately, they want to get to know you, the interviewers. So, show up as yourself, be authentic, and be confident, not arrogant, but be prepped well for it. You are your brand. So before the interview, you're thinking, or even before you even apply, who am I? What do I do well? What is my experience? And ultimately, why am I, if you're looking at the job spec, am I the right candidate for this role? And why am I here today? Whether it's here in this room today, why am I here? What do I want to get out of today? But also, if you're going for an interview, why am I here? What am I after here? So you're getting very clear on what you want. The clearer you are on what you want, I'll cover that slightly. The clearer you are in what you want, the easier it is. Quality over quantity when applying for jobs, because applying for quantity it's not good for anyone. Quality, and be specific on what you want. That takes, depending on the stage you're at, that takes a bit of time, bit of deep diving to get very clear on what you want, because a lot of the time someone else is telling us what we want and we coast along. So it's getting very specific about what you want. The clearer your vision, the clearer your results. And next, I'm going to look at interview techniques. So when you're looking at job adverts, whatever stage you're at, if you're returning to the workplace, looking to develop in your career, looking to move to another company, whatever your reason for doing it is, look at the job advert first. Can you do the work? Will you do the work? Do you want to do it? Does it appeal to you enough to actually really want to do it? And how will you fit into the organisation? So I just saw the guy before me had talked about the culture, but it's looking at it, am I a fit for that company? Does it align with my values? What's important to me? Is it the right size for me? Is it reflecting what I want? Then ultimately, when you apply for a job, the interviewer or the recruiter, depending on who it is looking at you, and they're looking at your CV or application going, can this person do the job? The exact same thing. Will they do the job? And will they fit into this company? Same in the interview. That's ultimately how they're looking at you and what they're portraying. So make sure you're aligned with the job advert as well, because ultimately, on both sides, no one wants to waste anyone's time. So go only for the jobs that you want. And then if there's more offers, it's your choice. But yeah, show up for it, showing you're the fit for the company once it's the right job for you. And if you're looking at that and you're going, this doesn't feel right for me, that's not the company for me, then don't be applying to companies. You're wasting your time, you're wasting your energy. Get very clear and specific on what you want. Obviously, it depends on the time, finances, all those factors come in. But spending time on that is crucial for long-term results. Again, I mentioned the career story. Know your career story. It removes rabbit holes, it removes getting lost in the interview. You can go in and have confidence from the very start, because you're always going to be asked, tell me about yourself at the start. So have that to a T. So you know the competencies on the job advert. So you're able to, as you're talking about yourself, I have very good communication skills, competent team player. You're hitting every competency they want in that job advert. So again, on your scoring, you're ticking a box. And you are your brand, so how you show up. Walking into a room, stand tall, confident, handshake, if it's allowed, still I think it's back. Firm handshake, eye contact throughout the interview, depending how many people you have. Make good eye contact. And sit straight in the interview, and ultimately be authentic. Show up as yourself. If you want the job, you back yourself. Don't try to be someone else. Don't over-rehearse. Be prepared. Know the company. Know you have plenty of examples. So when they're looking for, if you see on the interview the competencies they're looking for, guaranteed have examples that back you up. So back you up on that interview. So you're given proven results. Don't keep it vague. Examples, showing you deliver results. You're competent, you're capable. And don't force the interview. Like, don't show up overly rehearsed, trying to be someone else. It's very obvious. So just be yourself in the interview. Be yourself and prepared. So with the examples, use the STAR technique, or PAR is problem, action, results. I tend to lean to PAR because it's less to think about, but STAR is also an option. So problem, action, result. So when you see on the job advert teamwork, have an example of a proven time you delivered a successful result with a team. And then also on the other side, have an example of a time a teamwork situation didn't go to plan, but then at the end spin it to a good result. So you're always you're controlling as much of the interview as you can. So the bits of the interview you can control is examples for the competencies. This start, tell me about yourself and why should we give you the job. They are guaranteed an interview. Then you're going to get random questions that you can't prepare for, just go with them. And be mindful of the language you use. Not always easy in an interview, but avoid terms like hopefully, maybe. We all use them. I'll probably use them up here. Probably, maybe, possibly. You know, you want to speak confident. Feedback I have received. I have a strong track record in, so you're always showing yourself as results. If there is going to be a bit of that language, but avoid it, especially it won't be on CVs anyway. Study the job advert, know the job advert, and again, that's why I'm saying quality over quantity. So the more specific you are, you're applying for less, so you can prepare better. If you're going for loads, you can't. Your CV's not going to reflect it. You're not going to reflect it. It's just too much, and it's job search fatigue, which is like exhaustion basically from applying for too many. It's too consuming. Get specific, and then you can identify what industry, what company. Right, I'm staying in the company I'm in. I really like it, but I want to move to this department. So the more specific you are, the easier it is to adapt to it. And know your CV as well, probably given, but like a lot of interviewers still reference your CV, so don't know what's on it. And show up with the mindset. So ultimately, when you're going for a job, if it aligns with you, if you're very clear on what you want, you're kind of showing up with the mentality that you are the right candidate. You're showing up in the role because you understand it. You know the examples. You're not showing up arrogant, but ultimately, anyone that's recruiting or advertising a job have a problem. They need a person fast. So you're coming in as the answer to their problems that can fit in. You can get in there quick. You can fit the culture. You can do the job. And that's a solution for them, which is great. And the next area I'm going to look at is career mindset. So often we get lost in our own thoughts with the whole career thing, and we believe a lot of things we've been told. So first, I always tell people, begin with the end in mind. And that might sound a bit woolly, but ultimately that's getting very, very clear. That's from, it's a really good book, The 7 Habits of Highly Successful People. Really good book, and makes a lot of sense actually. But it's it's getting clear on what you want. Because if you're not clear on what you want, someone else is going to be planning your career. You're a passenger. And your boss will be driving you on, but on their agenda, and that won't change till you have your own agenda. So the clearer you are, if you decide this is where I'm going, then you can upskill. You can start doing courses where you're in. You can constantly upskill or move, and just you know what you want. Clearer you are what you want, you're building It can happen, depending on where, it might happen straight away, or you need to go, right, I've gaps here, I need to do this, I need to do that. So start building the blocks. You're not going straight from A to Z, you're building it. And this would be the ideal scenario. It's finding your element. We all want this, and not everyone gets it. I work with a lot of people that want to find this, but then they realize, actually, my job pays me quite well, and I'm not going to get my passion. Everyone's looking for passion, their passion, their fulfillment out of your job. Yeah, if you could get it, brilliant. Otherwise, that's what hobbies are for. That's why people set up side businesses. So you either are lucky enough to have it in your current role, or it can be got on the outside. So I get a lot of people looking for everything in their job, but your job is, you're there to do a job. You're there to get paid. Your social life is separate. Stop looking for that in your job. So it's building the full picture around yourself. Don't look for everything in your job. If you can, great. So ultimately, the ideal scenario is to be working at something that you love doing, that you can make, that you're getting paid for, and you're good at it, and you're good at it. If you've all that, that's great. You're in the centre. But I'm not telling everyone to strive for that, because you might be very happy in your job, tipping along, getting paid, and start something on the side, or take up new hobbies. But ultimately, it's don't base your whole life. Your career is one part of you. Don't base everything on it. And we can all tend to get too career consumed and forget about everything else on the outside. It's a part of you, not all of you. An important part, but don't focus on trying to find fulfillment constantly in your career. In terms of mindset, so your mindset is like how you show up, how you behave. So there's two mindsets, fixed or growth. Ideally, we want to be in the growth mindset zone in general, in all areas of life, but particularly in career when you're going for interviews. So, or if you're an employee, a growth mindset is going to carry you a lot further than a fixed mindset. With AI, with technology, with everything, you have to have a growth mindset anyway. So when you show up in an interview or as an employee daily, showing a growth mindset, you're open to opportunities, you're learning, you're growing, you take feedback on board, and you're open to, you're not threatened by others, you've kind of abundance mindset, you'll attract more. And right, I need to get this project over the line. If I work hard, I know it's going to be worth it. Just striving to always grow, because the comfort zone's lovely, but it doesn't last. It's very easy to stay in the comfort zone because it's safe, it's reliable, but the comfort zone is always going to change. You're putting yourself hugely at risk by staying in your comfort zone, because you're letting someone else take control of you. And technology is going to change. You're going to become redundant. Your roles, you have to evolve as a person as well, even for your mind, just to develop more. And, with the fixed mindset, it's kind of gives up, does things too safe, gives up easily, doesn't think the effort's worth it. We'll all slip into both. We'll slip between both. It's like human nature, but it's to know, I'm being a bit fixed. I need to kind of get out of my head here and make changes. I need to talk to someone. I need to talk to my manager. I need to move from where I am. Then self-limiting beliefs, especially with the career, if you're going through any bit of change, we have a lot of self-limiting beliefs, because we will believe something that we were told when we were 5. If someone told me I was bad at maths in 5, I probably still believe I'm bad at maths, even though I'm potentially very good at budgeting. That is the way the brain works. So I can't remember, 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day, and 90% are repeated of the day before, so we're like creatures of habit. So don't believe, and the majority of them are lies. They're told by teachers. It's like over kind of thinking these scenarios. So most thoughts aren't even true. So be in the habit of questioning. If you self-limiting belief, I'm not good at that. Why am I not good at it? What makes me reframe the thoughts? What makes me think I'm not good at it? And, don't believe everything everyone tells you as well. Like, take feedback, but don't be afraid to question it either. So it's like challenge these beliefs, because these self-limiting beliefs go on in the head and they hold people back. It's don't move, because it's the chimp in the head is there to keep you safe, and it's like fear. But at the same time, it can stop you moving ahead. It can stay in the comfort zone. It's nice and safe, but it's up to you. So this is an example of the way the inner critic works. So self one is the inner critic. So you can see it's very overpowering. And this is the way the human mind is. So it's really important to rewire the thoughts. The self two is your true self. That's the real you if you come to the core. So that's your career story. If you know it, this is what I want. This is what I actually want. The inner critic's going to try and overrule it. You're mad, stay where you are, it's safe. So it's you have to work with these beliefs a bit to question them. That's why there's journaling, there's meditation, there's all these things. Challenge the thoughts, especially if it's going into an interview, because it's like, oh, you're going to get attacked in here. So it's like, no, it's calm, it's fine. I am in control of this interview. It's quietening the noise in the head before. It usually kicks off bad before an interview. So it's like settling the noise, grounding yourself before the interview. Show up early, wash your hands in cold water, everything to settle you, land you. So if you're going for an interview, you don't want to come and rush in the door because you're going in like that self one is fairly full on there. So get there early. Wash your hands in cold water, stand firmly on the ground, ground yourself. So you're coming back to your center. Right, I'm here because I know I'm good at this. This is what I want. Just bring it back to yourself then, just to get yourself really settled into the interview. So you're talking again. So you're in the interview composed, based on the CV you sent in, based on what they've spoken to you about, as opposed to rushing in where this could potentially overrule you. This, again, is the self one is kind of critical judging. So self two is getting you more confident. It's present, as opposed to, remember you did that 10 years ago and it didn't go well? Or, are you sure you're going to have a job if you go for this in 2 years' time? It brings you back to present. And key tips for yourself, I suppose, just accept this. If you're whatever stage you're at and whatever reason you're here for today, there's going to be a bit of fear and self-doubt. But fear fear crippling is not good, but fear is what grows you. So a bit of fear pushes you outside of the comfort zone. So it's like trying new things. If you want to do something new in your job, I want to get involved in that project, ask for it. If you want something, ask for it. I always tell people, sure, ask. All they can say is yes or no or maybe or come back to me. But just ask, because at least if you're asking then, you're not kind of hopeful. No one will spot you. Never assume someone's coming to rescue you. I think, I have a good trick, or the dad in the carpet space. You think, so this new job is going to land. This will happen. No one's rescuing you. It's up to, it's to take the driving seat. Do it. What's the worst can happen? You're not threatening to leave your job. You're just asking for something new. If you want a pay rise, ask for it. I was very good at asking for pay rises. Didn't always get them, but I'm like, sure, if I don't ask, I'm not going to get. So it's just asking. What can happen? You're not asking to leave. So if you want something, ask for it. Don't be afraid. Because by backing yourself, the clearer you are, the more confident you are to go, I'm going to ask for a pay rise because I have these absolute strengths that they are so lucky to have me. Or I'm going for this job. In negotiating, I'm going to ask them for 5 grand more, 10 grand more. Always ask for more. Then they'll come back. Never agree. It's like, just chance it. Bit of risk, not to the point of not getting the job, but all you're talking is a bit up and down, So if you want something, ask for it. Because if you take a job for a bad salary, you're going to be on a bad salary for years. So it's the negotiation stages when, obviously, ideally, you should know the salary anyway, so you have a good idea of the range. But don't accept anything less than, okay, I'll take the job and they'll give me a pay rise. They won't. You could be waiting 5 years for a pay rise. So just get very clear and don't be afraid to ask for what you want. And if you're on the job search front or returning to the workplace or redundant or on welfare, have a bit of compassion for yourself, because it is hard. No matter what stage, job searching is really hard, because you may be at a lost stage, you may be at a crossroads, or just uncertain. Change is hard, so just have compassion for yourself and do your best. And connect, don't do it alone. Don't do it alone in your head. It's equivalent to going around in circles. So talk to people, meet with people at similar stages, work with people that can help you move on, and ultimately push yourself out of your comfort zone, because that's where growth happens. It's where development happens, and comfort zone, not much happens or changes there. It's grand, but long term, it's stagnant. And this is an example of affirmations. Everyone has different techniques before interviews, but again, these are examples to quieten the inner critic. So before an interview, before a phone call, rewire the brain. I am capable, I'm competent, I am the right candidate for this role. So it's all rewiring the brain. Write it. If you're going for a job search, get up and read that. These are examples. Get ones that resonate with you. So you start your day, as opposed to going, there's not a hope you're going to get a job today, or, oh God, I am worthy of getting a job. I am. So you're always reaffirming, rewiring your thoughts. They're good before an interview as well. If you're just in a car trying to settle, I am, it just quietens the noise. And as a coach, coaching's all about asking questions. So here are some questions I have for you today. You don't need to answer them, but don't worry. Feel free to take a photo or answer them in your head or for later. So I suppose, look, there's not much time between here and the end of the year, but what would you like to, everyone's here for a different reason today, but what is it that you would like to achieve after coming here today or by the end of the year, right? If I've one goal, we're looking now, it's later in the year, so don't go too wild, keep it realistic. But what do I want to achieve from here to the end of the year? And then reflect back, a bit like the timeline, the snake-like diagram I showed you. What are you most proud of in your career? We often forget about the things where we did really well. So what have you done really well that actually, I did a really good job there? Think about the things that have gone well, and actually, which I always forget to do, at the end of the month, write what has gone well that month in terms of your career, your work, your life, what went well, because we often focus on the negatives. So it's, okay, what? So if you have an example to bring an interview of something you're most proud of course bring that into the interview, because you are going to speak fairly confident about it. And again, coaching is all action accountability. So what is the key action? You've come here today. If there's one action you want to walk away with after today, what is that action? So after you walk out later today, what is the one thing if there's one thing you to pick that you are going to do after today, what is that? And that's great. So thanks everyone. I hope ultimately my key takeaway for you, if I have one key takeaway from you all today, it's to be in the driver's seat. Because in the passenger seat, you've no control, you're being pulled along. So no matter what stage you're at, get in the driver's seat. Take more control of whatever you want in your career. And just move forward, get very clear on what you want. The clearer you are, the more confidence. Confidence comes with clarity. So get very clear on your career story, what you're about, what you want, and where you're going. And thanks everyone. I am outside in the CV clinic if anyone wants to meet with me, or my website is lisafitzpatrickcoaching.com if anyone wants to get in touch with me. Thank you very much.
Lisa Fitzpatrick, everyone.
Thank you.